Sleaze it, Fram.
Michael Stipe, the subject of a lengthy new profile in this week's edition of the New York Times Magazine. You know, Barnes, I think we probably got the scoop way before the New York Times, but he's talking about Michael working on and off again on his long solo album. Stipe has been talking about that album for a while now, but progress is being made. Of course, the profile ends on a quote from Stipe that somehow both definitive and also non-committal. Quote, Stipe said, "We can say for the piece that I finished the songs, and by God, I will finish them before the piece comes out. How about that? Let's leave the piece closing with, I finished the songs." That's how he ended his non-committal comment. But let's go back to when he talked to the Morning X.
Yeah, let me dial that up because this was when he was kind of I'm going to finish it eventually kind of thing. Let's go back. This was Michael Stipe back, I think, in June on our show. Take the show back.
And then I am working on my first solo album, which is a daunting task. I have to say it's not easy to be or to feel like you're in direct competition with your former self.
Wow.
R.E.M. created quite a high bar to jump over. So, I've got about 9 songs written. I'm working on another 7, and when I get 18 songs, I'm gonna winnow them down to an album-sized chunk of music and throw it out into the world.
There you go.
I mean, a scoop there.
And he said at the end, remember that now we have each other's numbers, and he said he'll come on and debut it here first.
He did say that. He did say that.
Watching you, Michael.
I guess you saw this. U2 have extended their U2 UV Octune Baby residency in Vegas at the Sphere.
Can you imagine? Bono wakes up and goes, you know what? I could use $4 million more. Add 4 more.
Yeah. Because we originally knew that they were going into January. They have confirmed 4 additional shows, February 23rd and 24th, and March 1st and 2nd. That will be the final shows.
I mean, they're set up. Why not?
Talking about sort of extending, I saw this morning. How about Kid Cudi, Ken Carson rapping out with the Red Hot Chili Peppers?
I love that dude.
The Unlimited Love Tour continues into 2024. Yeah, the Peppers just announced a bunch of new shows.
I'd like to see Kid Cudi singing for the Peppers.
Maybe that's going to happen. You never know what's going to happen on that tour.
Never.
Seriously. Okay, last year it was confirmed that both Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling would star in a new installment of the Ocean's 11 franchise. Barnes, you know Hollywood. They know how to do sequels and prequels, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, they're going to star as the parents of Danny Ocean. Yes, according to Roger Friedman on the Showbiz 411 podcast, it's titled Oceans. It's a prequel to the original where, George Clooney portrayed Danny. Now, most of the plot details are kind of being kept under wraps for now, but it will involve the Ocean's parents teaching their children the fundamentals of a heist and stealing from the rich. It's going to be set in the 60s, which is cool because of the nostalgia, the original 1960s 11 that starred Frank Sinatra. I actually think this could be cool with Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling, right?
That is such the thing right now. All these prequels. Everyone's prequel. If there could be a prequel before the prequel, they would do that too.
Speaking of them, I do have an announcement for BARBIE and when it's going to be released on streaming services. People have been wondering. Yeah, Max, December 15th. Sorry, how much at the box office? Over $1 billion for Barbie.
That's good planning. December 15th, that thing is going to crush at streaming.
Think about it. And then I also saw this because I was looking, for what I'm going to be watching over the holidays. Killers of the Flower Moon. That's going to be available. I think you might have to purchase it, but it will be available starting, actually now. So listen, you don't need to get off your sofa over the holidays. You could just be lounging, watching all these movies. Let's get back to, oh boy, people upset. Chris Wallace is being called a scumbag? What? Chris Wallace, newsman, blasted for telling Adam Driver, "You don't look like a typical movie star." The audacity.
Was he trying to be funny? Or was
I guess he was saying he wasn't handsome.
Wow. Why?
Yeah,
Go
it's
there.
a series called Who's Talking to Chris Wallace. And Adam Driver's like, I look how I look, but check this out.
You don't look like the typical movie star. Has that been a help or a hindrance?
Well, I've worked consistently, which is nice, with people that I've wanted to, always dreamed that I wanted to work with, and so in that sense, it hasn't. I look how I look. I can't change that. So I guess it helped me. I don't know. A hindrance and only breaking mirrors wherever I go, and and having a misshapen outsized body that I can't fit through doorways or most clothes or fit into most cars.
Well, that was awkward. What the hell?
The whole thing sounded super awkward.
Pot calling kettle on that. I would have been like, well, bro, you don't look like the usual newsman.
Come on.
That's not
I know
cool.
we mentioned the other day that Colbert was back, but he's not. Do you know that?
Well, I think he was going back, and then the press machine started, and then he's like, I don't feel so good. I'm going to chill.
He doesn't feel good. He's still recovering from appendix surgery. Quote, I'm listening to my doctors and continuing to rest and heal. So I guess there was this big post on Threads. Thank you for all your well wishes, and I'll see you soon. That hiatus means that Mark Ruffalo, like Nicki Minaj, Sarah Bareilles, Sarah Paulson will no longer appear on the show this week. Get well soon, Stephen Colbert.
Is anyone using Threads besides Stephen Colbert?
I was going to say the same thing. What a way to announce. Go to something that no one uses anymore. It's like, hello, is anybody there?
There's a press release.
I mean, seriously. We've been talking about Sebastian Maniscalco.
Yes.
All week and giving away tickets to see him. Have you seen the movie that's on Netflix? I just wanted to throw this out there because I know a lot of people are, they're going to be home for the holidays and looking for stuff to watch. It's called About My Father. It's a comedy with Robert De Niro.
I've seen it up on the preview.
Oh, you should watch it. It's on Netflix, About My Father, with Sebastian. Oh, boy. The story behind the hit film The Blind Side took another ugly turn this week.
How? I mean, I thought it had maxed out on ugly turns. What happened now?
Which I hate because it was such a feel-good story. Well, Sean and Leanne Toohey accusing Michael Oher of extorting them for millions of dollars and threatening them if they did not send him money. In a legal filing, attorneys for the Tooheys shared screenshots of quote-unquote alleged text messages sent to them by Oher. Well, you should never send anything in a text.
Never.
In which he calls them thieves and demands they send him upwards of $15 million, or else he'd go public with their dispute over the financial earnings of the movie. Here's what it said, the text messages. Allegedly, if something isn't resolved this Friday, I'm going to go ahead and tell the world how I was robbed by my supposed-to-be parents.
Wow.
That's the deadline. That was one alleged text from Oher. Another, it was $10 million, now I want 15 after taxes. Another alleged text message. Others continue to insist the Tooheys took financial advantage and cut him out of the profits from their story. The Tooheys insist that is not the case.
Is dude just broke?
It's just sad.
Like what?
The whole thing is sad.
Someone obviously is not advising him because they would have said the first thing is like, hey, extortion 101, don't text it.
Don't text anything, but it says alleged.
Yeah, alleged, of course.
I don't know if you saw this, but almost 50 years, yes, it has been 50 years after Rocky Balboa famously ascended the steps at the Philadelphia Museum of Art. Sylvester Stallone is back where it all started. He returned to the site for the Philadelphia first ever Rocky Day on Sunday. He's 77 now. Do you know this marked the 48th anniversary of the drama? Wow.
No.
Standing on the stage near the 72-stair site where his boxer character Rocky made his iconic jog during training, Sylvester Stallone thanked those involved in the event.
I wonder what Chris Wallace would say to him, because you had that clip earlier of Adam Driver where Wallace was telling him he's ugly, basically. I'd like to hear the interview with Stallone.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart, and Rocky's too, because we're very close. And to all of you who, believe it or not, are real-life Rockies, because you live your life on your own terms, you try to do the best you can, and you keep punching.
Stallone would probably kick his ass if he tried that. You don't look like a typical movie star.
You know what would have topped off that whole thing right there?
What?
If he had done the 72 stairs.
Oh, right there?
If he had jogged.
He's still in good shape.
Why wouldn't he?
Yeah.
That's what I was hoping the whole time. Oh, my goodness. Okay, I was looking at, these year-end lists. This one's from Apple. They announced that, they have their show of the year announcement. Wiser Than Me with Julia Louis-Dreyfus. The annual award recognizes a podcast for its exceptional quality. We didn't make the top 10, Barnes.
Oh, didn't you see the New Yorker? We were number 1.
I did see that.
Yeah. So many people were congratulating me. I put a story up that had the New Yorker cover. It said the top podcast of the year. And even my wife sends me a DM. Is this for real? And at the very bottom, what did it say?
It said, liar, liar, pants on fire or something.
No, it said fine print. Photoshop is a beautiful thing. I mean, it was...
Didn't you put some liar song? Because people were congratulating me.
Yeah, I put a liar, liar. Yeah. So just to prove no one reads anything. It was right there in black and white print. It said fine print, photoshopped,
I'll
basically.
Take it.
Yeah.
I will take it.
I said, fine print, something about being a fallacy. Is what...
Well, at Apple, it's Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Wiser Than Me.
Well, look, Spotify just cut, almost 20% of their staff.
I saw that, and some friends of mine were affected.
Really?
17% of the workforce, about 1,500 jobs. Why does this happen right before the holidays?
Dude, the podcasts are not paying off like they expected them to pay off, and Spotify went in deep.
I have kind of a sad story for you.
Ooh, what?
Britney Spears' dad, Jamie, did you see this?
No.
Had his leg amputated.
What?
Had his leg amputated a month ago. We're told there's hope for a father-daughter reconciliation.
What happened to him?
Yeah. He had a massive infection in one of his legs. It landed him in the hospital for weeks. He had 5 unsuccessful surgeries, I guess, to contain the infection. The doctors decided the only way to proceed was amputation. He's doing okay now, but apparently his health is not great. He's had other ailments. And a lot of people are saying all of this happened from all of the criticism he got of the way he handled the conservatorship.
Man,
people are going
sad.
like, that's just not fair. If you remember back in the day, he's the one that moved to go to LA to kind of save her life. But somebody is saying right now, they're hoping maybe she's softened toward her dad and there could be a reconciliation because, her mom was just at her birthday party. So let's see.
What a sad story.
And there's your sleaze.